Hello, everyone and everything, and welcome back to more Hollow Knight. In the last episode, we delved deep down into the abyss and got what is essentially the ultimate upgrade in this game. The ability to dash with the Shade Cloak, giving us some much needed invincibility frames on our dash. In this episode, after I change my charms, hang on. And sure, why not? Okay. All the fragile stuff, why not? In this episode, we are going to head straight off to the left on this lower tram here. Because down here in Deepnest, there is one little corner we have yet to explore. Right down here below us. And as we discovered last episode, having this Shade Cloak dash gives us the ability to bypass these dark pillars. And thus gives us the ability to explore whatever's down here. And this is going to act as a really nice sort of soft tutorial on how to even use this thing, giving us a bunch of situations in which you have to use it in order to get past without getting hit. And it is really just gratifying to be able to actually slip right past all these things that have done damage to us. Here we're going to have to do it to get past... Oh, hang on, I can do better than that. There we go. Get past the moving Garpedes. And way down here we get something weird looking. With a charm, the Sharp Shadow. And we open that up, and we have now explored all of Deepnest. So let's go ahead and warp on out of here. Now the Sharp Shadow charm is an interesting one. It contains a forbidden spell that transforms shadows into deadly weapons. When using Shadow Dash, the bearer's body will sharpen and damage enemies. This one is interesting. My favorite thing about it is that the what we turn into when we use the Shadow Dash changes significantly into a creature with more eyes, more tentacles. It's neat. That's a neat little detail. But what's odd about it is that as nice as it is to be able to do damage while just sort of slipping past something, is that it actually changes the length of our dash, which is very bizarre. And we have been spending the entire game so far using a dash of a specific length. Ever since we beat Hornet, we have gotten used to that. Not only does this kind of mess with that, but even if you get used to this new length, it's a different length of a dash than what it is while it's charging back up. So while I once loved this charm because the effect of it was just kind of neat, it's one of the ones I recommend equipping the least. And if you're curious, the amount of damage it does is exactly equivalent to 1 slash of your nail. But with that obtained, what are we doing today? Well, I said last time, we're finally going to stop dodging the issue, and we are going to go straight ahead and track down the Watcher, located at the top of the City of Tears. But, yeah, I know, I said we were going to stop putzing, but, I mean, we're going to do it this episode. Just while we're here, we're going to check in on some friends of ours, like Lemm, because we've gotten some more arcane eggs for him. But first, no new dialogue for our Wanderer's Journals or our King's Idols, but the arcane eggs. Another arcane egg. It's a rare chance to own 2 of these. I'll be the envy of all my colleagues, though my purse is feeling much lighter for it. These eggs are the most desired find from time before Hollownest, but they're not the only remnant of that age. You may have come upon them, those old statues that seem to store for soul. They too prove its existence, though in a larger, cruder form. A third arcane egg. You're an exceptional explorer to have found so many. An egg is a perfect protective form. In Hollownest, we use stone journals or tablets, our text engraved on top. These eggs are far more secure. Their records are stored within. In fear of damaging the eggs, I'm only able to access the outer layer, But it's clear those in the distant past could somehow access information stored even deeper within. If only I could find a way to do so. Just think of the discoveries to be made. Oh, I think about them, Lemm. I think about them all the time. So apparently those sort of soul totems that we found everywhere that give us soul when we whack them, those are made by the same civilization that made those arcane eggs. Curious. And since our last visit, we won the final pale ore up in the Colosseum, which means we now meet the requirements set forth by the nailsmith. To forge the perfect nail. Oh, you've returned. I see you have some pale ore, a rare, fine metal. Give me the ore and some geo for my efforts, and I'll reforge your nail to make it stronger. 4,000 geo? As you wish. I'll get to work then. It's done. The reforging is done. Your nail is much stronger than it used to be, as strong as it could ever be. In only your weapon have I seen such potential. Finally, I behold the majesty of a pure nail. To think this moment has come upon me so soon. I must step outside for a moment. The pure nail has a base damage of 21. And this is as high as we can possibly upgrade it. The ultimate weapon of Hallownest, crafted to perfection. This ancient nail reveals its true form. And for the first time since we've come in here, the forge has gone quiet. And here he is. With a pure nail forged, my work in this lifetime comes to an end. My only remaining desire is to see and feel the nail strike true. I beg you, cut me down. As my final moment in life, I want to taste the blade's exquisite edge. After all this time, all this toil, haven't I earned it? His mind is clear. He's ready. And we do, in fact, have the option, should you choose to do what he asks. Yeah, let's not do just any slash. Let's use the most powerful technique we've learned. You will get the achievement Purity. And though he fell down here, his body is nowhere around to be found. But we also have the option of not doing that. So as much of a bit of a tease as it might be for him to stand there ready for it and for us to just walk away, that's exactly what we're going to do on this file, at least. And just one final stop. Back in the Royal Waterways. The Dung Defender isn't exactly one that we would call a friend. And he's not here. Okay, hang on. Ah, there he is. But you can come back and find him. Like I said, when we finished that fight, he did survive. Oh, it's you again! I'm glad to see you return. No, please, don't say a word. I must apologize for my previous behavior. Entirely my fault. I mistook you for some of those mindless, skulking husks. Yet you bested me in the most majestic, knightly fashion. Ah, that tear. You've been to her grove. I swore I'd visit, but my duties, my oath. Oh, I'm sorry. Ignore me. I'm being foolish. If I'm not careful, I'll sink down into old memories and won't ever come back again. She's a great judge of character, so if she gave you her blessing, you must be something special indeed. I'm barely worthy to be in your presence. Such joyful, vigorous combat. I'd almost forgotten the feeling. I was once a knight, you see. By the grace of our good king, I stood proudly before the throne, watching Hallownest swell to greatness. Then the nasty business with the affliction. We knights defend against the physical, but a formless enemy. How to defeat such a foe? Our king tried in his own way, a cruel means it was, and still, eventually, we were brought low. Bah! I shouldn't be so morose. You've invigorated me! 'Tis truly a delight to meet one whose strength can match my own. Go now, mighty warrior of Hallownest. You've proven your honor. Good fortune on the path ahead. So, there were others. Another nice healthy bit of lore. The affliction that he mentions is, of course, the infection that reeks through the caverns. And at long last, I believe that is the first one to put it into words that that affliction itself was what brought the kingdom low. Now this room here, we are right below where we need to go to reach the Watcher way up above us. And this is what we need the double jump for, is this jump right here. Well, put need in quotation marks, but that's for another time. And now here we are in the Watcher's Tower. Or Spire? Ouch. Get out of here. Ooh, I love that thing. I love that it actually works now. So, like I said, the best part about the Abyss Shriek is that the knockback actually pulls foes in, as opposed to knocking them away. Whoa! Yike! I wanted that thing! Ow! Come on! Jeez! I just want to get up there! Ah, come on! I want to... Oh, shoot! Come on! Yes! Aha! There we go. Alright. I could have just gone around, but that was much cooler. Even though it took... Whatever. It was cool. It was cool! Ooh! Double clank. Ooh, we got the entry for those guys. There he is, Great House Sentry. An extremely rare thing, a bug of Hallownest that actually poses a threat. Watch them carefully, as they can lash out quickly with devastating strikes. Devastating indeed. They are still among the strongest enemies we've ever fought. Always takes a while, but we have Fragile Greed equipped. Wait, where am I going? We're going across. We opened this gate when we pulled that lever. They drop 80 Geo. As I said, if you ever need Geo, they are the ones to provide it. Now, going through here with both Fragile Strength and the Pure Nail gives us over 30 attack power, enough to one-shot all but the most imposing foes. Now, it is really nice that we have the, ouch, maybe not so nice, that we have the Shade Cloak now. So we can actually use it to slip past him, even in these tight quarters. And if we head out this left hallway, all the way across this way, we've got a switch here. I guess I never came in here, just exploring. But this upper walkway has been accessible to us for a while. We are right down below. Oh, wait. If I remember correctly, I did go inside there. Anyway, now we can cross freely above that courtyard. More importantly, however, the fact that we just take those guys out in one shot is amazing. Up we go. We're going to want to head right first. You'll see why in a moment. And this is actually the first grub that we're zeroing in on since getting the collector's map. Really nice of him to keep such careful track of where all of his, where he put all of the grubs. Now we can collect them freely. Thank you, my young friend. Actually, speaking of grubs, when we defeated the grub mimic in the Colosseum, we earned its entry. Luring an enemy close by, pretending to be a weak little grub. Very cunning. Unfortunately for them, I eat these grubs as soon as I see them. Oh no! No! Hunter, I thought you were cool! Well, that's tragic, but anyway. No need to let it sway us from our quest. Let's just head on up this way. Now, at the top of this tower, we enter what could not more characteristically be a boss room. Actually, wait, hang on. I know I said I wouldn't do this, but it's not for the reasons you think. I forgot to sit on that bench? Ah, jeez. Alright. This bench here. Now, on my way back up here, I did unlock some new entries for the Husk Dandy. It seems the weakest, greediest members of Hallownest were also the ones who exerted the most influence. Truly a kingdom that was always destined for ruin. And a cowardly husk. The fearful, cowardly nature of these Hallownest bugs persists even after death. It almost feels shameful to chase and cut them down. Now, the reason I didn't want to be in that boss room was because I don't want to be all three fragile for it. That's just going to be intense overkill. I do definitely want Mark of Pride, though. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good set. And got the Gluttonous Husk one, too. As these bugs became wealthier, they hunted less and consumed more, eventually taking on a grotesque shape, not unlike overripe fruit. Okay, and back up where we want to be. A room that, like I said, has no suspicions about it whatsoever. Nothing looks boss-like here at all. We're just locked in. It's fine. Anyway, introducing the Watcher Knight. You may as well think of these roly-poly boys as the real final boss, because what we have here is the hardest required fight in the whole game. The Watcher Knights boast the second highest total HP of any fight in Hallownest. They're quick and nimble, and they're basically the more chaotic cousins of the Mantis Lords. We've got our hands absolutely full. Let's start with their HP, because it's sitting over there taking up like the whole screen. We have 6 identical foes to take down during this fight, and their HP scales based on your nail. But even with the lowest tier, that's 1,320 health total to deal with. Strength in numbers is really all they've got, though. When you look at the attacks of just one, it's pretty simple. They have the 1-2 slash, the roll, and the bouncy roll. The 1-2 slash is almost as simple as boss attacks get, a 2-slash combo that advances him forward. This fight is honestly a great place to really flex our new Shade Cloak dash, and this attack is basically why. If you dash when he winds up, you'll end up safely behind him. However, this attack is slow and small enough that pretty much anything will do. Jump, dash away, do whatever you're most comfortable with. The roll has a pretty heavy wind-up where the knight basically revs up in place. After that, this is a straightforward dash attack with just a couple caveats. For one, while he's spinning, he's immune to your nail. You'll still probably want a nail pogo, but that's more for evasive purposes than anything. He's still vulnerable to spells, and once you're behind this attack, it's a good time to let loose with some Shade Souls. For 2, it has a couple of different possible interactions with walls. Most of the time he'll bounce off it and move a little ways back towards the center, but sometimes he just won't. If you're towards the wall when he does this attack, be prepared to keep yourself airborne so as to safely dodge either possibility. The bouncy roll isn't too different in principle. After a lengthy wind-up where he does one tiny bounce, the Watcher Knight will launch himself towards your position. Once again, it's nice to have a jumping attack that always targets you instead of sometimes being used to reposition, but the extra bounce that occurs after the first makes dodging this one a little tougher. He'll essentially carry his momentum and do a shorter bounce in the same direction before the attack is over. Also, just like the grounded roll, the Watcher Knights are immune to the nail while spinning. Normally, I'd say just dodge underneath and let the second bounce not even matter, but, well, that's not the be-all end-all advice it used to be. Not when we get into what makes the Watcher Knights so tough. See, much like the Mantis Lords, after you've taken down one, they'll start coming at you 2 at a time. Unlike the Mantis Lords' neatly choreographed attack patterns, though, these guys will basically do whatever they want, but double. That makes actually formulating a consistent game plan here really difficult. Keep your distance? Well, sometimes they're spaced out so well that you can't. Hold your ground? Definitely not. The attacks are coming in from all sides. Dodging towards them or underneath them? Well, what if there's another guy already there? So how are we gonna do this? Well, first and foremost, we're gonna cheat. Before even starting this battle, wall jump up this wall outside the arena and break this chain holding the chandelier. It'll fall and break one of the 6 shells, meaning we'll only have to deal with 5. Secondly, I know I said this is a great fight to get into using our Shadow Dash, but it's also a great fight to learn its limits. Every attack they throw at us can be consistently dodged with a Shade Cloak dash, but with the attacks being so frequent, relying on that dash is going to leave you out to dry with the Shadow's cooldown. So we need a more consistent approach. And here it is. We're going to play a little game called The Floor is Lava. 2 of their 3 attacks cannot affect you while you're above them, full stop, and the bouncy roll is heavily telegraphed. So, just jump up on their heads and do not come down if you can at all help it. This basically cuts the amount of attacks that you even have to worry about down to a third, and even if one comes rolling in from off screen, you'll already be dodging. Bonus to this, if one that's directly below you uses a bouncy roll, he'll basically just bounce in place, effortless to avoid. The biggest threat to you is going to be if one that you're not currently on top of uses a bouncy roll. In this situation, I recommend just using a Descending Dark, and using all those sweet invincibility frames to get right back on top. Using spells liberally is going to be a good way to wrap up this fight quickly, but the nail pogos are the key to survival. That being said, there is one thing that I would be remiss not to mention. This is something that I don't think most people even know about this fight, as it's not even mentioned on the wiki. There is a different variant of the bouncy roll that the Watcher Knights will use once in a blue moon. Odds are you'll never see them do it, but it's basically the same attack, just untelegraphed. No little wind-up bounce, just straight into the air. This is the greatest threat to our strategy, and frankly, you won't dodge it if you're above them. But in all honesty, this happens so rarely that I don't think it's worth worrying about, let alone accounting for. So, the nail pogo strategy is still going to be our go-to. But that's going to be it. Now let's roll out and bulldoze these guys. Now, I have to say, this is one of my favorite boss fights in the whole game, just because of how much I enjoy nail pogoing. It is just fun to bounce on these guys' heads and play the floor is lava. Every once in a while, I get to absolutely unload on them with that upper spell. Ouch. It's fine. Now, these guys are considered difficult, probably for reasons best considered outside the context of the current run. We are just about at the end of the game. There are very few areas that I have not explored. But the fact that they're a required boss, which puts them in a league of their own, alongside only about probably 5 or 6 foes in the whole game, means that it is possible to fight these guys in a less prepared sort of context. And in that sense, they are absolutely brutal. Gonna go ahead and make use of our brand new Shade Cloak dash here, just because, whoopsies, just because he likes faking me out. Just because it's so perfectly spaced for these guys. And that is it. And yes, as you probably noticed, I chose not to break the chandelier. But just because it's one thing that we can do, we'll go ahead and do it afterwards. Doesn't serve any purpose, it's something we can do. You know, this world's already so decayed. Another fallen chandelier isn't gonna make things that much worse. Now, up at the top-ish here, we have actually got a pretty nice reward for that. A nice old, big old Cassius Geo. And, I believe, a Hallownest seal. Yes, indeed. Further up still, we're actually on the map. We're not quite even really close to the, well, I guess we're close, but we've got a ways to go before we reach to the top of this tower. If we check these guys, they say, cannot watch longer. Apparently, if the Watcher is a name that has any meaning whatsoever, then perhaps we can assume that they were his apprentices, left to watch in his place. But rather than sit up here at the top, we are going to go ahead and slip right down here behind this statue and find his office. Sleep beckons eternal, and these words become my last. Though my gaze shall no longer fall upon this city, I will act forever in its protection. For King, for Bug, for Hallownest, I head now to my rest. His final words before he laid down his life for the country he believed in. We can check this telescope. and look down onto the city below us. We are at the highest point in the City of Tears. You can see some venge flies flying past the telescope as well. It's not clear what the Watcher did other than, watch. But if we look specifically at our position, it seems that this telescope was specifically aimed at the Soul Sanctum. Perhaps he was investigating the absolutely abhorrent things that we already established those people did. He also seemed to dabble in painting. A man of many talents. Now this is a room. Look at all these windows. Gorgeous. And there's a single dandy husk up here who has unique thoughts. He says, "Master, how long?" Or so long. I probably should have equipped the Dream Wielder. I know you have other thoughts in this.
I will watch over you. Master, light calls. I serve. I serve. Master, so long.
I believe that's everything he has. A single trusted apprentice who fell to the infection, as we could tell by the orange light in his eyes. Anyway, a sleeping figure lays atop of the stone plinth. For the last time, let's enter this dream. And one more time, we get to find out some thoughts.
For King beloved, to sleep, to serve. Bonds must remain. Remain. Remain.
I gotta say, Watcher, you put up quite a fight with your guards. But now the barriers and the bonds are undone. No one here to mourn him. But that is 3 down. Now I want to draw attention to that cutscene that we have seen of each of the masks being undone on the Temple of the Black Egg, because there's been a little bit of a design over the top of it which we have seen elsewhere. This is what is referred to as a seal of binding in amongst the community, and we have seen it when we explored far beyond what was perhaps reasonable in the Weaver's Den. The midwife told us they could weave spells into their threads, and that seal of binding must have been one of those. Back here in Dirtmouth, all that's left for us now is to enter the Temple of the Black Egg and find what's awaiting us within. So it only serves as natural that we would spend the rest of this episode preparing in every way we can. Let's start with Sly's little shop and find that the man seems not to be here. Instead, he's down below. What have we got down here? Sly, you sly dog. What secrets do you hide? Oh my, that is a very big nail. So, another would join our group. I have a gift for you, warrior. As a shopkeeper, I admit parting with it for free is rather difficult. But as the great nail sage, I must recognize your skill. You have mastered the arts of my remaining pupils. Now tradition decrees you too may hold the symbol. Wear it proudly, Nail Master. You should be the last to receive its like. On our journey, we've uncovered 3 Nail Masters. And now, it seems that all along we knew a 4th, their sensei, Sly.
These refined weapons. The battles of Geo are much deadlier.
Off you go, Nail Master. I've nothing more to give you. Nothing for free, at least. I'll be up briefly, and eager to take your Geo in trade for my precious wares. This is a really cool twist that I didn't see coming, but way back in episode 1, the very first thing we ever heard him say when his mind was addled by the infection was, Oro, you wield your nail like an oaf. I think it has... I'm saying that from memory, I'm not reading that, so hopefully I'm right about that. But that was him talking about Nail Master Oro, one of the 3 teachers we've had. That charm is a pretty cool one. Nail Master's Glory. It's one of the most useful single charm slot charms out there. It drastically increases the charge speed of our nail arts, making them all a lot more applicable. If we ever have just an extra slot, this is definitely a top contender. Now, listen carefully and we can hear a fairly boisterous voice coming off from over here. I wondered where you went after we bested you in the Colosseum. But that's not the only danger I had to overcome in my quest for glory. You've noticed this trophy, haven't you? A keepsake of my final triumphant battle deep in the pit below us. Yes, Life Ender claimed another victim, and the crowd erupted into ecstatic cheering. Cheering that was both loud and utterly sincere. To what do I owe my long string of triumphs and victories, you ask? As I said earlier, the key is my personal philosophy, the 57 precepts of Zote. Calm. Okay. Zote, okay. Particularly relevant here is the first precept, always win your battles. As for the other 56 precepts, well... If we sit here... Precept 2, never let them laugh at you. Oh, sorry, Zote, I'm already failing that one. Fools laugh at everything, even their superiors, but beware. Laughter isn't harmless. Laughter spreads like a disease, and soon everyone is laughing at you. You need to strike at the source of this perverse merriment quickly to stop it from spreading. He will list off Precept 3, always be rested. Fighting and adventuring take their toll on your body. When you rest, your body strengthens and repairs itself. The longer you rest, the stronger you become. All 57 of the precepts with which he conducts himself. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now, but maybe we'll keep checking in on him from time to time later. Great Prince, so dark, so troubled. I came to this kingdom... Nope, that's Zote.
I came to this kingdom to fulfill a promise, and now I have succeeded. That promise I made so long ago, a promise to myself. A promise of glory! Glory for I, Zote the Mighty! I never doubted myself, never faltered, and now I have achieved everything I desire.
Can I dream now just Bretta? It seems not. Well, perhaps this is for the best. Bretta has found a new idol, one who will give her all the attention she definitely craves, and Zote likewise has found a fan who will suck up every single inch of his bullshit. I wish you two the best. Inside Bretta's home, you can see a couple of changes have been made. She's gotten rid of the plush she had of us and replaced it with a portrait of Zote. I'm not salty. And her little diary here has a new story. The Grey Prince. Heaving heavy breaths, flushed from the exertion of battle, the figure emerged from the well. Triumph was his, and the trophy he bore to prove it, the fearsome skull of his vanquished opponent. Startling warning he brought to the village, one that rung so true. Their white savior, thought a hero by the bugs, was a vicious beast, and this shrouded gray prince was in truth the hero deserved. With honor and humility, he recounted his quest below, his epic journey of one purpose, to find her, to protect her, his gray maiden, his partner in darkness. Speaking of darkness, Bretta has built a shrine to Zote, into whom she's poured, no doubt, some interesting dreams. Dreams we will have to discover later. For right now, we are preparing for a true fight. On the bench here, go ahead and equip the fragile charm of your choice, whichever is your favorite, most likely strength. And head over this way. Now, we spoke with this fine, beautiful lady once before, but I didn't explore what she was really here for. Ah! That charm! Beautiful, most precious thing, little lovely. Will you let me see it? Have to show it to me. Give fragile strength charm? Charm lost. Ah! Ah! Such a little beauty, such a smell, such a smell. Ah! Hey! Ah, so good, so tasty. A perfect, perfect thing, just for me. Ah. Beautiful, delicious, ah. You're good, little lovely. You're very sweet to bring me such a gift. Well, I know what they say about Chinese giving or Indian giving, but, can I have it back? The one who made my gift? Ah, somewhere below, yes? Very good gift, very tasty, delicious. Do you want something, little lovely? You don't want to take my gift back, do you? Ugh! So nasty, so cruel if that's true. Once you give something as a gift, it's lost to you forever. A gift for you? So greedy. But I can show you something if you're nice to me, little lovely. Will you do a nice thing, lovely? Give them to me. Your Geo. Give me your Geo and I'll give you a gift. 15,000! Now that'll put a dent in our coffers. Still at 5 digits, though. Oh. Oh. Jeez, I don't know if I want that. Oh. Unbreakable strength charm. This charm is unbreakable. Of course, this has absolutely no purpose in Steel Soul mode, where breaking a charm also means losing the run, but this is exceptionally helpful in Classic mode, as you can use, after you upgrade these charms to their unbreakable forms, you can use them to your heart's content. That smell! Ew! You're hiding something very nice from me, aren't you? Shouldn't hide something so nice. Show me, show me! Put it on, quickly! She will, of course, do the same for our greed and our heart charms, charging 9,000 and 12,000 Geo respectively. In fact, why don't we go ahead and do it with greed, just because we've got the money. Again? You're so greedy for gifts. Poor little lovely. Give me your Geo and I will give you your gift. Gosh, the sound effects on that was just, like, too accurate. But unbreakable greed is ours. Now, for the elephant in the room, yes, I do currently have the 3 flames that Grimm sent us after last time, but I'm also going to put that off for later. One final stop before we head to our true final destination, the Grubfather. Grateful as always. And with a map to the rest of his kin, this entire side quest is almost complete. But unfortunately, we will have to settle for what we're at, which is, judging by the remaining, 38 out of 40. One more King's Idol. Was Grubfather perhaps another of the King's trusted inner circle? Interesting. I wonder what skills he brought to the table. Now the Temple of the Black Egg awaits. Let us enter this place. One of our very first visits, at last open to us. Well, here we are. Journey's End. Thank you guys so much for watching this far. I'll hope you join me in the next episode when we find out what truly lies at the end. See you guys then.